So, Altered Carbon, the new Netflix series, is already my favorite TV show of the year. And I've been watching I binged it in 2 days. Not a record for me. Done it in 1 day, another TV show. But it was that good that I needed to binge it and that I needed to make a video on it, also for the views. But the plot of Altered Carbon goes as Takeshi Kovacs, not sure, but Tak, as they call him, was an envoy, which is it's like the Marines, or not really, like SEAL team, Navy SEALs, it's like the Navy SEALs, but of the universe, or the galaxy, in a sense. And he gets put on ice, or frozen, his stack, basically, his soul gets put away and stashed for 250 years as part of a sentence in prison. And when he's released, he's bought by Lawrence Bancroft, a rich meth as in, Methuselah, because Lawrence Bancroft is 360 years old, and he just buys a new body and puts his soul in it every time that it gets old. So, Lawrence Bancroft buys him to find out what happened to him. Lawrence Bancroft got murdered, but of course has a new body, so got backed up, but was murdered. And he needs to find out if he is at risk. So then Takeshi has to go and find out who did it. On the way, he's being tracked by Ortega, and Ortega is a police officer in Bay City, which is what I think would be the San Francisco area. Larger San Francisco area, around the Bay, I think. So then, Ortega has put a tracker on him, as she's also working on the same case. But Lawrence Bancroft and Ortega have some major feud going on behind the scenes. And because of that, this leads to the revelation that Takeshi, who is put in a white person's body, he's half white, half Asian. So, yes, there is a race issue because it's not his body or his skin, in a sense, but it's not like a whitewashing type style thing. But it turns out that Takeshi's new body was the body of Kristen Ortega's fiance, I believe, who was uncovering some major scandal between all the rich meths. And on the course of this, Tak makes friends with, or sort of friends with, other people like Lizzie and what's his name? Lizzie and Vernon, because he needs their help in uncovering what is really going on with Lawrence Bancroft. Now, midway through the season, Lizzie, who's stuck in a trauma loop, who's been traumatized so bad she needs to have psychotherapy from a hotel AI. She plays a large role in the case, and Tak finds out that his sister, Raylene, is alive. And when that happens, Raylene becomes sort of a psychopathic style, more like sociopathic, and she's trying to keep control over him for the entire series because she doesn't want anybody taking away her brother. During all of this, Takeshi has flashbacks of his lover, Quellcrest Falconer, who died in some explosion. But we finally learn that the explosion was caused by Raylene. Raylene sold out Quellcrest to the UN, the Protectorate, in order for money and clones and to overall just become a meth and secure her brother's safety as well. And she is also a major player in the Bancroft murder case, because what happens eventually is that Bancroft had a tendency to find prostitutes and beat them for some apparent reason. All the prostitutes looked like his wife, and he beat them and murdered them. But Raylene covered up the murders by changing their coding, saying that they converted to Neo-Catholicism, which basically means that they cannot be brung back after their sleeve or body dies, because that means that they're going to hell. Maybe I should do another video on that later, but then Raylene guilts Lawrence into helping her not pass UN Order 651 or 630, I forget, but a thing that states that if they were murdered, that Neo-Catholics would have to be spun up and put back into a new body. And then the plot ties in all together towards the end, with the multiple threads intertwining, revealing that Raylene and Miriam murdered Lawrence Bancroft. Yeah, and there's the plot rundown.